This video is a stub, and it contains primarily opinions done by a bunch of, let's say, biased sources. I don't know if this is accurate at all. In fact, I'm absolutely sure it's going to have at least a tiny bit of not truth in it. But here we go. To attack the social media companies and technology platforms, systematic bias against conservatives. Or, in practice, if it was actually made a law and you didn't selectively delete it just before you lost power in the political office that you're in, it would be able to dictate what speech is allowed on the internet by whatever political party is running the government at the time. Just like every other law. This is why you don't make laws of convenience. In some states, the exiting Republican or Democratic Party people will change all the laws in the state to make it to where the next person in loses every single bit of political power they enjoyed. And then what is done by that political party, the one that comes in next, this is why you don't shoot yourself in the foot or other organ, is they'll come in and unrestrict it and then restrict it right before they leave, because they can just go ahead and do so. The constitutions in most states allow you to make this not work. But when it comes to making a change like constantly screaming for over a year that net neutrality is bad, and now you want it back, conservatives, you live and die by the law, not a sword. Sorry. So who made this rule? Top Democrats have also called for weakening the Communications Decency Act, CDA 230. And this might also, no matter how you do it, it's going to happen this way, but it might give tech companies broad freedom to handle content as they see fit and censor even more, because they'll just weasel out of it because they're run by a bunch of lawyers too. Every time you make a rule that explicitly prevents someone from doing something evil, they just hire worse lawyers to do it. But anyway, this is supposed to make the FCC develop new regulations clarifying how and when the law would protect social media websites, YouTube, etc., when they decide to remove or suppress content on their platforms, or whether it would. Calls for the FTC to take those new policies into account whenever they investigate or file lawsuits against misbehaving companies. This is the best I could do with clarifying it, and I'm stopping. This is a memo that is a leaked Trump document aimed at the FTC, FCC, and Ajit Pai hole concerning the Communications Decency Act and other things. Again, you did not want net neutrality if you're a conservative, because at the time, net neutrality was about not letting people censor the internet and making it to where everybody had equal access. Now if I'm at a coffee shop that uses Google's fiber or is Google provided, they are allowed to censor things, because net neutrality is not enforced to force them to let me access everything evenly. They run it through a filter that's supposed to help us, prevent me from seeing something if I'm 4 years old or something. At a coffee shop, on a Wi-Fi. Comcast, the one that's at the other coffee shop, blatantly censors anything that would allow me to archive things sometimes. All the time. And occasionally, they'll just outright interfere with me using the internet. Even though I have been given the right to be the admin on the Wi-Fi at the coffee shop. I get free coffee for it. They give me free coffee, and I make sure the internet works correctly. Even going so far as me having to inform the coffee shop owner, Comcast has permanently locked out my ability to be the admin anymore. So now they just pay me cash and have me work from the cash register after it's closed to fix things that are wrong. Because Comcast got mad at me for uploading. They can't anymore. It's a VPN. It's not using a VPN. I reprogrammed the thing to be a VPN. Fuck you, Comcast. And as for the one with Google, everybody started screaming about it, and Starbucks had to tell them to stop censoring people. No, I'm not on the side of censoring the internet, but without the law saying you have to be neutral, you have to be agnostic about data. You can't restrict people's access to the internet because you can get away with it, Google. because you cocksuckers out there helped promote that form of corporate-run censorship by being lied to, even by them, to allow net neutrality not to be the rule, even though that was what that's what we all got used to. That's the normal internet. The net neutrality thing wasn't enforced. Oh, we can trust corporations not to. So anyway, this may or may not be a real executive order by Trump. He may have been asking for feedback. I don't think he can ever ask for help or question anything openly because he thinks it makes him look stupid when he is. So he might have said, I'm going to do this, and then waited for people to tell him, no, that's a stupid idea. I'm sure he's used to hearing it, including from Ajit Pai hole. So was this to keep conservatives from being censored? Or liberals? Do you want it to only be one group? Do you really believe that that's actually how it works? Or is this just another way of tricking you into putting more chains around your neck, Mr. Trump? Again, Ajit Pai hole is a little mouthpiece and a little snickering twit. And people who did not want net neutrality, it's not just a word, literally making the net neutral and saying legally, if you interfere with things based on any form of bias, you're subject to FCC fines. No, let's not have that. Let's leave innovation to do it. Sort of like Internet Explorer and Windows 10. Perfect innovation, right? Tell me all about it in the comments below. I'm going to leave this one open. You can post whatever you want to. Spam the shit out of it. Anyway, everybody needs, this is the useful part of the video. I have to do something useful. I don't even know if this is, this was a draft, it didn't go through, yada yada. Okay, but does it show intent? Or is it just Trump finding out, if you do this, it's going to fuck you over and later on? Just like everything else, stop making laws. Conservatives, they're all against regulation unless it'll annoy liberals, right? So were you tricked into believing this is a good idea? Like you were when net neutrality was turned into something that was Republican versus Democrat. Do you really believe that this shit isn't the same goddamn thing? I don't know who did this or why. I don't care. These aren't the executive orders you're looking for. But let's get to the useful part. Rusty Shackleford. He's a YouTuber that does drone footage. Just look him up. That's all I got to say. I don't know what his opinion is or bias is. I don't care. He just makes videos and doesn't comment. Rule 1 of awesomeness. You decide is literally the basis for it, number 1. Number 2, the subject matter might be topical or tropical. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. No, I don't know what the guy's political or social or whatever opinion. It's a data source. Don't know what it's useful for yet. We'll see.